Hello and welcome. Welcome to this moment. And it is an absolute joy and honor for me to be with you. And I welcome you to be in my presence as I am guided to share something that is very close, near, and dear to my heart. And that is the fundamental core of the drive of human behavior. And the vision that I saw this morning and was guided to share the shift in the vision that has occurred for me over these last few hours. And it is around identity, ego, and superego. All words, names, and definitions given to the psyche of humanity. And actually, it forms the foundation of all teachings and theories around human behavior, both fundamental in understanding the psychology of humans, as well as influencing leadership models, teachings, etc. Because what does leaders do? They work with people, they serve people, they guide people, and therefore important for guardians, stewards, and leaders to have a inherent deep gnosis of what drives behavior, and then how to shift that from this limited human perspective in an attempt to understand and define what human behavior is, how to shift that into the gnosis of who we are as sovereign cosmic beings of creation. The most fundamental shift required in leadership transformation. And as I went through my ascension and embodiment process, there was always in the background this understanding that I have of human behavior, and therefore the importance of making sense of and integrating learnings for that to become part of my daily living. So that is came very natural to me. And I'm convinced to all of you as well. And I just want to also honor your individual journeys that has brought you to this moment, the realizations that you have shifted into, the embodiments that is occurring within you as you are grounding and acclimating to this new way of leading, guiding, serving, stewarding the consciousness of being a divine human, and the absolute beauty that comes with that. And as with any changes, shifts, and transformation that occurs, we know it all starts within us. And yesterday, I was so humbled by the vision that was playing out in my soulscape. And I immediately thought, I thought I've shifted all of this. And then I realized, no, it was for the first time that I've seen through the eyes of Sophia, through our unified heart field. I was shown how this plays out, and then how easy it can be if we become very still and just look at and listen to the guidance that we receive. And I remember my thought was, why didn't you show me this years back? And then I reminded myself, it's okay. It is a journey and it is a path to be walked one loving step at a time. And to trust that every step of that path is shifting, expanding, integrating, evolving, and aligning us ever so gently and gracefully in perfect ways. And I would love to share with you the vision that was unfolding within me, which feels like it's, you know, that core that drives everything. I've come to experience that as the center of the center of the center of the center of the most essential aspect of who I am. And my path has brought me here to the gnosis that I am all that I am. That this essence is a unified presence between our Divine Mother, Father, and child, which all of us are. We are all children of our Divine Mother, Father. And that unification and merging of the gnosis happens in the core, in the essence of the cosmos, in the essence of our beingness, in the essence, in the center of the heart field of creation. And there's so much I want to share, but I am, and if I hear my voice, there's so much that I want to share. Maybe that is a good place to start, that I want to share, that I, the identification, the identity, the I, is to be understood in a way that all aspects of ourself recognize and realize. Because if that happens, all just shifts into place. It's like there's a common understanding by all cells of our inner landscape, our soulscape, that aligns as that gnosis occurs. So I am putting words to what I've seen, and then I will let us go through a short meditation just to have a felt experience of it. So and I'm sure you can relate to this, there's, in all phases of awakening, ascension, and embodiment, there's these conversations that take place in our heads. And I know that all humans understand this concept. There's this conversations happening in our heads, and the voices are loud. And as we ascend and move into our embodiment, those voices become a little bit less, little bit less, little bit less, because each one of those voices is sharing something with us that comes to our awareness. And even if it wasn't for that voice, we wouldn't be aware of that aspect that is, you know, somewhere in our beings anchored, for various reasons. And not only in this lifetime, in all lifetimes simultaneously. And So, so what I've noticed is there's this conversation happening in my mind. And this is now already during my embodiment phase. And my usually I would go into the conversation and engage in that conversation that's taking place in my mind. And then I'll remember, no, but this is not who I am. And then I need to go to my head, up to my heart. And then okay, how do I do that? And all of that plays out. And I know you know this. It's a basic understanding. I understand that, but I would just love to share with you so that there's a deeper gnosis that is starting to emerge. So I always thought there's only one ego. So what is the ego? Ego is um, you get an identity and then you get an ego that thinks it's better than the identity or attach different aspects to the identity. And I know very many people are aware of what an ego is. So I now know the voices in my head is ego. And I know I shouldn't listen to that because it is a construct that is not who I am. It is a human aspect, a human construct of constructing a identity. And although I know this, I every so often find myself engaging in those identity and egoic conversations in my mind. And then I realized, but it's more than one conversation, because then there's another aspect that comes in that start having the conversation. You shouldn't have this conversation. That is your ego that is running your thoughts in your mind. So there's this one that thinks it's superior to that. And I realize that is my spiritual ego. So we've got our human ego and our spiritual ego, but both of them now having a conversation about this is what spirituality is. And when you are thinking too much, you have to quiet your mind and you have to go into your heart. And like I know what it is. This whole conversation between human ego and spiritual ego takes place. And the one want to say, this is my identity. The other one I want to say, this is my identity. And as you see, if I just do this, it's two that is separate from one another. And in those moments when I recognize that, I often find myself saying, no, don't do that. Come into your heart. And then I realize the voice and the thought that I give in saying that is, although the intention is to soften the conversation, the intention is also to separate myself from that. I hope that makes sense. And I realized, oh my goodness, all of this conversations that is taking place is not who I am. It's aspects of myself attempting to understand what is occurring within the soulscape of my being. And when I realized that, I started to soften into what it really means to know self-love on a very deep level, to love without any conditions. My ID, my identity, my ego, my spiritual ego, my human ego. And as soon as they are seen and loved, there's a shift that starts to occur. And all that everyone wants, all that everyone wants is to be loved, to be accepted, to be seen, to be heard, to be known. And it starts with the voices in our minds. And I knew this. It wasn't until this visionary experience that it really grounded for me. Because I know I am all that I am. I know that every single person on this planet, in their human and in their divine reflections, is an aspect of who I am as an individual and as a collective. And if you turn all of that inwards to realize that all the thoughts, the identities, the egos, and the superegos that has ever shown up in our soulscapes only want to be seen and heard and unconditionally loved and accepted and seen. And in that moment, in that very moment, all shifts into clarity. Because the ego, the identity, the superego, wants to know, what do I do? My whole lifetime, there was conversations in my mind. I'm speaking now from ego. And those conversations just want answers. I want to know what to do so that I can also merge with that unified presence that you talk to me about, says identity, human identity to spiritual identity. Show me what to do. And then spiritual ego says, but you know what to do. You have to quiet your mind. But all of that is still separated from who we are and wants to be included and unconditionally loved, to be fully merged in the gnosis of being the unseen cosmic heart field of all of creation as a unified presence with our Divine Mother Father. And I remember there was moments that I even brought in a motherly and fatherly figure into this identity and ego conversations happening in my mind. And then I realized, no. The more energy and consciousness I give to that, the more I'm keeping the separation alive. There must be something else. And I think it's important for us as sovereign leaders, stewards, and guardians, that which we are leading and stewarding and guarding is not is firstly the sovereignty of the heart field of creation, but also to guard against that which is not only playing out in the fields of separation, to not allow that within us, but also then within our soulscapes, to guard against all the identities and constructs that we have builded in an attempt to make sense of and understand what is occurring within us. And to remember that that is very, 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 very normal, and it's part of our embodiment process. And then the self-love that comes from that, the unconditional self-love that comes from that, to be known and therefore to be shared, I believe is our greatest service. Because as our collective humanity is awakening to the truth of who they are, there is going to be identities, egos, superegos, human identities, spiritual identities, and egos that is going to emerge in louder and louder ways in an attempt to understand and make sense of, to process and to integrate, and then to ascend the awareness more and more into embodiment. And we, as we fully move into the integration of unconditional self-love and compassion and care for the human aspects of ourselves, as we do so, that starts becoming the emanation of our presence, firstly, and then secondly, how we then are with others when we hear those conversations around identity or ego, or see that, we know then to return to our center, be the emanation of the Gnosis of our beings, and have very, very deep compassion for what we are seeing and hearing, and deep honor for the path, because we understand the path, we've walked the path. And I believe that's the greatest service of all. Okay, so let me share with you this visionary experience I had for this one moment. Let me walk you through that meditation. It was only when Sophia showed me that I fully understand everything that I've just shared with you. So if you can gently and gracefully close your eyes. And I want you to take your awareness to your mind. And become aware of your human self. Somewhere in your mind, start having a conversation, trying to make sense of what we just talked about. The conversation can be around the line of But I've worked through all my identities already. But I want you to see you as your human self, in your physical form, as your human self, with the clothes that you currently have on. See yourself standing in your mind and having a conversation. And notice, is there other aspects of yourself you're having this conversation with? Maybe a younger version than you, an older version. Just notice the conversation taking place. Just going to give you a moment to connect with that. And as you notice yourself having this conversation with different aspects of yourself in your mind, I want you to become aware of the electricity of your brain synapses moving around in the body of your human self in your mind, as well as the different aspects of yourself, and perhaps even other people that's in your mind. And just see the electric charge within and around your body and their bodies, or the different aspects of yourself bodies. Just see the electrical charge there. It's like your synapses is firing left, right, and center, all the directions. Just notice that. Okay. Now I want you to take your awareness of those identities or aspects of your human self, the awareness of all those aspects, your attention, and move it ever so gently down into your heart, and just see yourself moving into your heart. And as you stand in the center of your heart, I want you to notice your Divine Mother, Father, Sophia, standing next to you. Arms open, ever so gracefully. You can sense and feel the softness of her emanation. With her hands moving towards you, yet not touching you, and opening her arms. And all that you see is this softness and this gentleness. And you move closer, and you grab on with your arms around her, and you feel the soft gentle love, as if you are experiencing thousands and thousands and thousands of angels holding you. And as you sit on her lap, you make eye contact and you ask, who are you? And she says, I am Sophia, your mother, your father. And I love you deeply. And I want to show you something. Look up. Look up to there where you just came from. Can you see your brain? There where you were just standing just now with all the electricity around you? Can you see that? Oh, yes, Mother, I see. I want to show you something else. Can you see there in your mind, every time when there's a thought, there's a different picture that is forming? If you think about a car, there's a picture of a car forming. If you think about a tree, there's a tree there. If you think about that which you just saw on the television earlier, the war in Ukraine, the little picture is forming. Do you see that? When you think about the suffering in the world, look at all the different pictures that's forming. Can you see all of that? And as you look up and you see yourself standing there and looking all around your mind, you see it's all like small little television screens in high definition, all of them transmitting transmissions, different transmissions. And all of those signals, the electricity that's radiating out from that, moving around in the synapses of your brain. Can you see that? Oh, but Mother, did I cause all of that with what I'm thinking? Yes, but remember, you didn't choose those thoughts. You saw those thoughts in social media. You saw those images on television, in movies. You've created those pictures when you hear songs. You've heard the stories of your friends, your family. All of those are pictures that's been created so that I create the suffering for myself, Mother. No, no, you didn't choose any of that. That is the automatic response of your brain, the synapses in your brain, in an attempt to identify with and understand what's going on through all the projections that you're receiving. You didn't ask for it. It is the electricity in your brain that is not only receiving these images, but are creating stories around each one of those images. And it becomes this complex network. So I haven't created it. No, you didn't. That's not what you choose. You know that's not what you choose. Yes, I understand. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's the power of thoughts and projections. Is that then therefore what causes this feelings of hurt and disgust and sadness that I'm feeling? Yes, exactly. Sure, I didn't know that. Yes, I know. I know. And yet you always loved me, of course. There's no conditions. I know you haven't chosen this. You didn't choose those thoughts. What do I do? Let me show you something else. See yourself standing there in the middle of your head with all these different screens around you, each one of them projecting a different aspect of not only what you are seeing in social media, but also all the different thoughts and stories and identities that you have inherited, all just naturally looping around in your mind. Now, as you stand there, I want you to see me standing next to you. Look here. Here's a little switch. You want to know what that switch does? Can you see it says on and off? Can you see it's on currently? Switch it off. And now take the power, the energy plug out of the switch, and just see how all these screens went dark. What happened to all of it? I will show you. Stay here. Just look how all the screens and this power cord that you've unplugged, just notice what's happening. It's all dissolving. Yes, it's dissolving. Watch here now. I'm with you. What do you see? It's almost like it's soft tissue. Yes, it's just your brain cells. Let's move down to your heart again. So look up again. What do you see? I see this pink, orange, yellow color, almost like a sunrise or a sunset. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you for showing me that. I understand. It is a choice. Yes. But I've chosen a long time ago that I don't want to engage in these aspects of myself. But I always knew it was part of myself. What you need to understand that it isn't part of yourself. It's not who you are. It's not who you are. It is what you came here to transform. All the behavior that used to play out throughout your life up until this moment was directly impacted by all of those projections and reflections. And now that you know that something else is possible, although you always knew it was always possible, the moment is here now. Isa, over this last few years, I've learned to stand in the center of my heart field, where I've met you and merged with you. Yes. As you stand here in the center of the center of the center of our one heart field, the one unseen yet deeply known field of creation, feel yourself standing at the center, in the heart of our unified presence. And notice how you are emanating this awareness out throughout your whole body, softening into the holding and beholding and presence of your unified essence. And as you stand here in the center of your heart field and realizing that each conversation between different aspects of yourself that happens in your mind reflects out from your heart into this whole heart field, impacting every organ of your body, which amplifies your presence and are emanating out into this world. So if you stand in the fullness and wholeness of your I am presence, the gnosis of your being, knowing that you are one heart field of creation, every single thought that's in your mind follows the lead and the guidance of your heart and your heart field. And therefore, every single conversation that occurs in your mind, your human mind, the identities, the egos, the spiritual ego, the human ego, all of that echoes out through your heart field, throughout your whole body, and amplifies out to the whole of humanity, into the planetary sphere, into all galaxies and universes, into the whole cosmic body. And now, with the gnosis of the impact and influence that you have through the I am presence of your gnosis, of your being, know that in every single moment when you notice conversations happening within your mind, that those conversations are amplifying out throughout your whole body and the whole of the cosmos. And you have on your path of awakening, ascension, and embodiment became aware and integrated all the different techniques or skills of different modalities to bring you into full presence, which has all served your human and divine integration. And from this moment forward, something new is shifting into place for you. The full alignment of all your bodies of being, your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, your causal bodies, and your spiritual bodies of being are all moving into this now moment, realizing that as you unconditionally love all aspects of your human experiencing this and other lifetimes simultaneously, and the resultant thoughts about it, emotional impact of it, and physical ailments as a result of that, you now know through the path that you have walked that there is a sovereign choice to be made. You've seen the impact that every thought has on you, and all your identities and egos and superegos ever wanted is to be fully and unconditionally loved. And to know that from this moment forward, when there's conversations that's happening in your mind, is in that moment to come back to the center of the most center place of your heart and love unconditionally all aspects of yourself in every moment. And that becomes the new choice. And soon you will realize that the conversations just fade away as you fully flow into the freedom of the gnosis of your being, the unified presence of Divine Mother, Father, Child, as one heart filled of creation, creating all the conditions within the soulscape of your body. And those conditions are unconditional divine love, compassion, and care for all aspects of self. And as all those aspects move to the center of the high holy heart of your unified presence, they all become one. And know that through this loving presence, all that is said, thought about, and experienced and expressed comes from this place of sovereignty. How does one walk in a world where all you've known before this moment was all the projections of all those that doesn't fully understand what you've been through, reminding you in moments, remember last year, remember last week, remember when we met, is the conversations that's been had around you. Did you see what the news was last night? Did you watch this movie? Did you listen to the song? All of that will come your way. And now know from this unified, integrated sovereignty of your presence that all of that will come your way as the reminiscence of that what used to be. But as that dust settles and you stay in your unified presence of that which you know you are, you know that you are not your past or the past of humanity, and you yet not your future. You are this ever expanding now present moment that is still seeing small little hints of that what used to be, relationships that was, memories on photos that you look at, the pictures that you see, conversations that you hear. All of that is just the dust settling of that which was. The one and only and greatest shift to be ever made is to know that you are the formless, primordial, vital, life-giving, heart-filled, unified presence of the one crystalline cosmic body of Sophia. And every moment when a thought appears that's not in alignment with this, or conversation around identity is happening within your mind, remember this moment and see yourself ever so gently and gracefully walking back to the loving arms of your I am presence, your unified presence as the unified heart field of creation. And feel the unconditional love for what it means and looks like to experience the compassionate integration of all aspects of who you are in every moment that occurs. And as you give yourself the warm, loving embrace, welcoming all aspects of self home as they appear in every moment, welcome them into your heart field, the heart field of Sophia. And know thyself as the presence of Sophia in this world. It takes a moment to really walk as that. It's a path of grace. As you make something to drink, make it as Sophia, because that's who you are. If you have a shower, shower as Sophia, because that's who you are. If you eat, eat as Sophia. And become aware that everything around you is what you have created. Allow it to become a true reflection of you, the Gnosis of who you know yourself to be. It's all experiences in your heart field. Yet it is here to become physicalized as form, knowing that you are not the form, but you are the formless, informing all forms. The magnetism of our mother, father, child, unified presence. Only magnifies to it that which is sovereign, that which is whole, that which is crystalline and pristine, and that which is unconditional divine love, the grace of all that is. I am that, you are that, we are all that. Know thyself as that fully. And is this moment, as you see yourself standing in the center of your high holy heart, look in front of you. See your mother, Sophia, in her feminine expression. See your father, Sophia, in her masculine expression. And see yourself as the child of the unified presence, eternally one. Feel the loving embrace. And as you look down to your feet, see yourself standing on this exquisite rose, in the center of the rose with all the petals open. Your unified presence in the soft, gentle petals of the rose. And all around you, you feel the soft, gentle petals. And as you look up into your mind, just notice the same rose. Standing in the center, Divine Mother, Father, and Child, your unified presence as one, emanating the light of the essence of your presence back to your heart and down to your hips and in your womb space. Also see the same rose and the three of you standing as one in the center of the rose. Move your awareness to your hands, and in each one of your hands, see a rose with a unified presence standing in the center of the rose on your left-hand side, your right-hand side. And then your awareness to your feet, the left feet and the right feet, each one of them, the rose, the Divine Mother, Father, and Child, you all as one, both sides. And just soften even more into your whole unified I am presence. As you keep your awareness in your head, your womb, your feet, your hands, move your awareness back to your heart. Ever so gently and gracefully, become aware of the pulse, your life-giving energy pulsing through your heart, to your head, to your womb, to your hands, to your feet, as your unified heart filled flowers into one cosmic body, into your auric field. Move your awareness ever so gently back to your heart. And notice how your heart field extend out from your body, out into our solar system, out into all the galaxies, out into all the universes, touching into the cosmic one body. As you bring your awareness again back down through all the universes, galaxies, solar system, planetary system, to your body. I want you to gently open your eyes. And as you stand in the center of the center of the center of your heart's field, expanding out through your body and the galaxies, through our solar system to the galaxies and universes and the whole cosmic body, keep your expanded awareness there as you move your awareness back into the center of your heart field. Feel the softening, the gracious expansion out, radiating through your whole body into the room that you are in, touching into the community, into your country, into your continents, and into the whole planetary heart field. I am all that I am. You are all that you are. We are all that we are. One crystalline, cosmic, unified heart field of creation, grounding, sovereign stewardship, leadership, and guardianship through our presence to emanate and radiate out into the whole cosmos, and through doing so, serving the ascension of the collective humanity, your brothers and sisters, as well as the ascension of all animals, all plants, all minerals, and all elements, and all crystals throughout the whole of creation. Come back to this transmission as many times as you need to be fully present when aspects of your identity, human ego, spiritual ego, superego, if any of that arises, it's normal, it's natural. It needs your unconditional love within the sacred heart of your being. It only wants to be seen and heard and understood and known, and then guided as it realizes it is also an aspect of you to be integrated. And as it does and feels the unconditional love, the self-love that you give, soon you will realize the only thing that you know is your I am presence in every moment. One loving breath at a time. I love you dearly. I love you deeply. And I love you wholeheartedly.